Okay, time to make my super boss king guide, or I guess final boss king guide. And he's releasing tomorrow on global. We got the news today, and I'm recording this in advance because I do know that tomorrow will be a very busy day with Ascanor dropping, and I will probably upload like 3 summoning videos and not the king guide at all. So I am uploading this ahead of time. If anything gets changed, but I very much believe it will not, I will probably take this video down and make a new one. But I'm pretty damn sure they won't change anything that we have info for. But yeah, so Super Boss King is a very difficult activity. They did drop the power levels that we would. I'm sorry. This was just to make sure people know the Asking is actually coming out. They did post on Twitter that he's coming out tomorrow. But yeah, they did let us know the power levels of King will be 100,000, 130,000, 150,000. I know a lot of people in global are already at 150,000, but you gotta keep in mind, 150,000 is not like, oh, your most CP units, you gotta bring your specific units for it. So that's gonna be interesting. This will be probably like Super Boss or Final Boss, I'm sorry, is my favorite activity in the game. So yeah. So they are doing the new sort of way that final bosses have been for the past one that we had on GP. Initially, it was just you had to beat it. Initially, it was just you had to beat the boss and that was it. You had like a set amount of times per day that you could do it, and then they changed to now you can beat it as many times as you want. And you need to get high points and you place higher in the rankings, and you also can farm coins to buy stuff from the shop, which has these items right here. They don't give us the amount that you can buy of each, but I'm expecting anvils should be 100, hopefully. I wouldn't count on that 100% because we don't know, but it should be 100. Maybe not, because the anvils are also placement rewards, but horns, there should be 50 of each, I would assume. And then, like, all this stuff you can buy with the coins from the thing, and you can also buy the costume as well with those coins, right? The king costume, which is probably, is the biggest prize. Even with the anvils, I think the costume is the biggest prize. But yeah, so how would you get the points and how would you farm it? Now, again, you will be going for points, but you also will be going for farming, because you do want to get the coins as well from the extra activity. And the best way of getting coins is not going for the highest points, but actually just beating them normally. If you want just to be on top 5%, that's completely fine. Or just, if you just want to be top 15% or, whatever you can, and then just start farming afterwards, it's completely fine. But how the phases work, I have this one open. I just wanted to show how the point system works in a second, but the king boss has 2 phases, of course. And the first phase, you have these 2 cat thingies or whatever that keep attack boosting King. So in the beginning of the battle, King is not as strong, and he just progressively gets stronger moving forward because of these cats. You can't damage them, and they will just be there. They don't attack you either. The only one that attacks you is King, but they keep boosting him. And you need to either, take off his boost, which if you do end up pulling Ascanor can take off buffs, and with his second card, he does have a remove buff ability. Or, if you want, you could actually use Green Elizabeth, but I do recommend a buff remover like Ascanor would be much better. And the first phase is actually very straightforward. You just beat him. The second phase, though, you gotta beat him like pretty fast, because in the second phase, he hits you like super hard. If you let him get like any buffs at all, like let me show you. He's good to like 2 level 3 cards, right? Then you pretty much, let me mute because I don't want to hear my voice. But he's gonna attack me right here with those 2 level 3s, right? And just check, like this is a level 80 SSR gear units, right? Although was his activity higher on GP? I don't know. The AOE hits decently hard, as you can see, did pretty good damage. Oh, he only did AoEs. I want to show the actual the single target. The single target, the ultimate. The ultimate didn't hit nearly as hard because it didn't have as many buffs. But trust me, like again, these are level 80 units. Oh, he did a single target right here. The single target is just, so he ulted right there. But like, look at the damage on the single target. Oh, there was an AoE again. I want to show a single target. But you see like how much harder he hit with the AoE because he got the buffs. You can't let him you know, progress and keep getting buffs. You're just gonna get destroyed. But yeah, I think, yeah, at this point right here, I think that's when he does the level 3. He does level 1 right there, doesn't hit that hard. And he just kills my Merlin right there, 32k. But in the second phase, like, I forgot to say, the second phase, 1 buffs and 1 lowers your defense related stats, which is interesting. Oh, he does 3 attacks. I forget. Listen, it's been a while. Yeah, yeah, that was pretty much 115k. Yeah, that will kill most of your units. 115k, unless you're using HP and defense stats with like really good rolls, you don't have, you know, 115k health. If you have like attack and defense, you probably don't have it, especially right now in global, right? Most people should not have like super good SSR gear like that. So you can't let them, you know, progress and get a lot of buffs. This was 0 buffs. Yeah, this king is pretty hard. So the strategy pretty much is to build up your ultimates and ultimate in the second phase, especially with Jericho. If you have Jericho, I've been saying maxing out Jericho is very important. She is good for lots of activities, and you want to use her. Now, how the point system works, just before we talk about the characters, you want to do as much damage as possible. It's exactly like Guild Boss. If you've done Guild Boss, you know how this works, which you should be doing. So the strategy is to just do the most damage possible. And here, this is from the Meliodas because this was the only super boss that we've had that had the system implemented. So right there, I do a level 3 freeze because, you know, freeze increases damage, and then I ult with my Derriere, and boom, I do 1.7 million damage, and that will give me my points, right? And that's pretty much how you get the most points. But not necessarily the best way of farming, you know, if you just want to go for the coins, and that's important as well. But the best nuker, of course, will be Jericho. You could, if you do pull him, use Ascanor, but he doesn't hit nearly as hard, and I assume most people that will pull Ascanor will only have maybe him at 1 out of 6. You know, so comparing to Jericho, which lots of people probably, you know, have been investing on her, have been pulling dupes for her if you've been summoning, or bought her from the coin shop a few dupes. You might have her like 3, 4, 6, maybe 6, 6 if you've been really persistent with buying her dupes. You know, it's just gonna do much more damage, right? It's only because of the double crit damage ability, by the way. And you know, if you build her up in the first phase and you just nuke King in the second phase, you probably can. I mean, if your Jericho has a really good gear set with attack and crit damage, you can probably one-shot him. But one thing is, they do let you know that freeze doesn't work. Unless they're lying right here, he is immune to freeze. So, unfortunately, we'll not be able to cheese with Gustav or Red Merlin. I mean, honestly, you wouldn't be able to bring Red Merlin anyways because he's blue and he probably would absolutely annihilate her. But, so, all the best options we could do right now are Green Helbram and Green Gilthunder for boosting. You do want to, you know, attack boost the Jericho and then ult the target. That's probably the best way of doing it. So I would say that the optimal team for the King Super Boss will be a nuker, so either Ascanor or Jericho, a booster, so either Helbram or Gilthunder. You don't want to have both, you know, that'll be a very weak team. Green Merlin, you should buy her from the coin shop. She's such a good unit. Even if you don't want to buy her just for this activity, having her for PvP is super good. Like I said, King's ultimate hits super hard, especially if he has any kind of, you know, attack boost at all. So just not allowing him to get the ultimate is just beneficial. So Merlin taking off the ult gauge is just the best possible, right? And then Red Elizabeth in the back for the healing. If you don't know, Red Elizabeth heals all allies by 10%. Also, one thing, you guys, if you have been, you know, watching the videos from the past completions of the final bosses, you might know, but the best food to use is actually lifesteal food. Lifesteal food is super good for Guild Boss. It's probably the only place where it's really good, but trust me, use lifesteal food. You might want to, you know, use crit damage food. Actually, okay, if you are really good at the game, okay, If you have your units, you know, full SSR gear and really good rerolled, honestly, you could do attack food and or crit damage food, but for the majority of people, lifesteal food is the best, because whatever damage you do with Jericho, you will pretty much fully heal. Lifesteal 20% is a lot. You pretty much fully heal with whatever damage you do with Jericho, and you know, with Hellborn being AoE, even though you do, I'm almost sure, and I will check this. Yeah, you do damage on the side characters, so the lifesteal does proc. So you know, whatever damage you do with Hellborn, if you're using him, or Gilthunder as the AoEs, they will also heal. You know, Merlin will also heal. So the healing from the lifesteal food is very important to keep yourself alive. Honestly, you don't really need attack food if you want to just get to top 15% or 5%. Honestly, when I did the Meliodas one, the Super Boss Meliodas, I got to top 0.3% with lifesteal food. So you know, it's fine. You don't need really attack food. There's only a boost of 10% when it comes to the attack food, and lifesteal is so much better for these kinds of activities where the damage dealt to you is so much, right? So healing every turn is very, very important. And bringing a healer is not the best idea. You really don't want to bring Green Elizabeth. And what other healer would you even bring if not Green Elizabeth, right? We go on speed, because HP, I'm sorry, because you really don't want to bring any other I guess typing of healer, right? Yeah, green is pretty much just Elizabeth, Zenari, but it's not on global. Yeah, it's pretty much just Elizabeth, I guess. Hendrickson, but would you even, I don't know if, okay, he does remove buffs. I guess he's not the worst option, but because you know, you want to go for the points, you don't want to really use them. Now for farming, like I said, you do want to do points, so the optimal team for points would be Escanor or Jericho. Let me go back to that. Escanor or Jericho for the nuking, Hellborn or Gilthunder for the boost, Merlin, and then Elizabeth. Honestly, you could change Merlin, if you do pull Escanor, you could do Escanor or Jericho in a booster and not use Merlin, because then you would be able to take off the buff, right? But you know, for the quote-unquote optimal, right, you would be one using this lineup. It would be best. But for farming, I do recommend taking off the booster and just, you know, going for full damage, just for fast completion, right? So you know, Jericho, Escanor, and Merlin would be the best option probably. Just for, you know, beating it fast. When it was the time for this, the Meliodas Super Boss, I used to use Estarossa and attack booster and go for it, and then I would just pretty much auto, because Estarossa would just pretty much do it all for me. I didn't care for getting the high points, and it wouldn't do it anyways. The coins you get are just by completion, not by high points. So yeah, King Super Boss will be interesting. I wonder how people will be beating it. I know every time a new boss of this comes out, people try to beat it with like SRs and free characters. I wonder how possible that will be on global with. I mean, I wouldn't say it's been like a little time to prepare, because it has been a bit. You know, a lot of people have been getting full sets of SSR gear and stuff like that, even free to play. You know, but yeah, I wonder how we'll go for global, because I know when King Super Boss released on JP initially, but people were much less knowledgeable at the time when it did come out on JP, so it's very different, but still. Yeah, good luck for everyone. Again, pre-recorded video, I will actually beat the stage once it does release, but I did want to post it sooner, because I know I will post so many Escalator videos tomorrow, and I probably will not post about the Super Boss, and people are going to be like, where's the guide? But yeah, thank you guys for watching.